Breaking news for you from the Amhara region, where allegedly an Ethiopian military colonel has been killed in a drone strike. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching. Details for you in this video. What is the name of this colonel? Was he really killed in a drone strike, or was he killed by an armed group? Secondly, what is dollar to Birr exchange rate in the Ethiopian black market? I got fresh information, so I thought of sharing it with you. Let's start with this news story about declining value of Birr against US dollar. You know that when in July 2024, Ethiopian government introduced macroeconomic reforms, dollar was 57 birr in open market, but it was not available in open market. In black market, it was around 117 per dollar, 117 birr per dollar. Then came macroeconomic reforms, which Ethiopian government claims were necessary for economic progress. They say that opening up of economy was much needed, and that is why the government took this big decision. But that big decision led to the fall of birr against dollar. The determination of the price of birr against a dollar was left to the market, and market then saw birr fall against dollar. It reached 100 against dollar after the macroeconomic reforms, but it did not stop. Its fall is ongoing. Now, the official price of dollar against birr is 151 or 52, I think. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is selling dollars, US dollar, for 152 or 53 birr, I think. What is the price of the Ethiopian birr in black market? Dollar, I mean. In the black market, a dollar is being sold for 181 birr. Today's price of dollar in Ethiopian black market is 181. Some bought for 178, some for 179. Overall, we can say the dollar has crossed 180 in the Ethiopian black market. Ethiopian government, has been launching a crackdown against illegal money transfers. It got help from American FBI to some money transfer agents were investigated in Washington, D.C., Minneapolis. In Ethiopia, to some money transfer agents were arrested. All that happened to kill the foreign exchange black market. Tog Wajale on Ethiopia's southern border remained under a siege for days. But nothing is working. Ethiopian government has been accusing Eritrea and other countries of encouraging black market in Ethiopia. Whatever the reason is, all the efforts by the government to kill the black market have failed, you can say. There is still 20% difference in official and black markets. The gap narrowed down a little a few weeks ago, but again, it has widened to 20%. And no signs of decline of value of dollar against birr in coming days. Now, many stories from the Amhara region where Fano groups claim that a colonel has been killed. The colonel was a captive. That is why it's breaking news. Fano sources claim that a colonel and ENDF soldiers who had been captured by Fano fighters, they have been killed. Name of the colonel is Colonel Zarehun Mamoye. an officer of 12th Infantry Division, deputy commander of 12th Infantry Division, Colonel Zarehon Mamoe has been killed, according to Fano fighters. The man was in custody. Fano fighters captured the colonel and the members of his division, and they were being kept at a temporary detention center established by Fano fighters somewhere in Wollo, I think. Somewhere in Wollo. And Fano sources showed the colonel in videos. The colonel in a video talked about drone strikes too, and he said that Ethiopian military's drone strikes were killing civilians. Obviously, he was in custody. That is why he was forced to say all that. Today, Profano news source claimed that the colonel has been killed in a drone strike. The Fano sources say that the Ethiopian Air Force conducted this drone strike yesterday on Wednesday in Wollo. In that strike, the colonel and several other ENDF soldiers who were captives were killed. Now, did Ethiopian Air Force really conduct the drone strike? Did it hit the colonel and captives by mistake? Or did just Fano kill the colonel and Fano is now blaming the government for the killing of the colonel? Well, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. If a drone strike was conducted at a temporary detention center in the Amhara region and the Colonel Zarehun, was killed in that strike, I think Fano should at least show the evidence. Where did the Air Force conduct the strike? They might release pictures, by the way. They can easily show a destroyed or damaged place, and they can claim this is the place where drone strike was conducted. Ethiopian Air Force never admits, Ethiopian military never admits that it is conducting drone strikes in the Amhara region. Why? Because once military admits, then it will have to be held accountable for human rights abuses, for civilian killings happening during these strikes. Civilians die too as collateral damage and during strikes which miss targets. That is why Ethiopian military never admits that it is conducting drone strikes in the Amhara region. Maybe Fano fighters killed the colonel and ENDF soldiers. Why? Because ENDF is killing Fano fighters in drone strikes. And through the killing of the colonel and ENDF soldiers, Fano has given a message to the Ethiopian National Defense Force. Fano is telling the ENDF that if you don't stop drone strikes on Fano fighters, we will kill all the ENDF captives. If you're not showing any mercy on Fano, why should Fano show mercy on ENDF prisoners of war? Maybe Fano fighters suffered losses in drone strikes. That is why they have decided to take revenge and they have killed the colonel and they're blaming a drone strike. That could be the case because drone strikes have definitely slowed down the advance of Fano fighters in the Amhara region. Around a month ago, they were pushing into Dasi, Wuldia, Kobo. They were dreaming of starting conventional war. They said they had started conventional war. They had changed gears. From guerrilla war, they had started conventional war. That's what they were saying 3 to 4 weeks ago. Then came massive air campaign. Drone strikes were conducted, airstrikes were conducted. Fano started suffering losses. And their advance slowed down. They had to retreat from the outskirts of main towns, main cities in the Amhara region. And they have not been able to sustain the pace of their military gains in the Amhara region. So maybe they want to stop drone strikes. Fano fighters want to stop drone strikes. That is why they are killing ENDF captives, giving a message to the Ethiopian Air Force to stop the drone strikes or to risk the death of all the ENDF captives. Thanks for watching.